It is a mystery so deeply hidden within the human heart that for centuries wise masters spoke of it only in whispers, symbols, and veiled illusions. This secret is too subtle to be fully expressed in words, yet so real that it can only be grasped through direct experience. The Sufis call it the secret, the innermost center where human consciousness touches the infinite. Why has it been so carefully guarded? Because it is not knowledge one can gain from outside sources. It cannot be acquired from books or through the testimony of others. It reveals itself only when a person becomes a worthy vessel, after years of purification, surrender, and deep inner journeying. Only then does one perceive that they belong to a truth greater than their own existence. Many of us have briefly touched this mystery. In prayer, when the sense of self dissolves and only the prayer remains. In moments of profound silence, when thought ceases and pure awareness shines. These glimpses are small windows into the secret. For the Sufis, the culmination of the heart's journey is known as the crown of the soul. They teach that human consciousness is layered. At the outer edge lies the nafs, the self with its desires, fears, and endless chatter. Most people mistake this surface noise for the entirety of who they are. But this is only the crust. Deeper lies the heart, not merely the physical organ, but the gateway to divine perception. As Ghazali writes, the heart is a subtle faculty through which divine knowledge flows into human awareness. Beyond the heart lies the soul, the divine breath that animates existence, the spark alluded to in the Quranic verse, I breathed into him of my spirit. And beyond all of these is the innermost secret, the most hidden center accessible only to rare masters and true seekers. Ibn Arabi describes it as the place where there is no veil between the servant and the Lord. Ghazali calls it the chamber entrusted with divine mysteries. Though these descriptions sound abstract, the Sufis gave clear distinctions. Hujwiri explained, the heart is the seat of knowledge, the soul is the seat of love, and the secret is the seat of unity. Knowledge blossoms in the heart, love flows from the soul, and in the secret all divisions disappear into oneness. Why then is the secret veiled? Because by its very nature it defies language. The heart perceives God through his names and attributes, but the secret beholds him directly. Thus Ibn Arabi said that in the secret there is no veil. Even the veil of knowledge itself is gone. In that state, the tongue falls silent, yet silence itself begins to speak. This is why Sufi texts describe silence as the true language of the secret. When saints attempted to voice what they experienced, they were often misunderstood. Hallaj Mansour's cry of Ana al-Haq, I am the truth, was not blasphemy, but the utterance of a consciousness immersed in the secret, where the boundary between self and God becomes so thin that truth itself speaks through human lips. Those unable to comprehend accused him of heresy. Yet for the Sufis, his words testified to the unveiling of the secret. Can this secret be attained? Yes, but only through long preparation, disciplining the self, cleansing the heart, strengthening the soul. Without such readiness, the secret remains hidden. As the masters insist, the secret reveals itself only to the prepared. The seeker's task is not to force revelation, but to polish the mirror of the heart and wait for the divine light to fall. One of the most striking signs of this unveiling is the transformation of time. Normally, our awareness moves between past, present, and future, but in the secret, all time collapses into a single eternal moment. Ibn Arabi called this the everlasting now, a timeless present free of regret or anxiety, where every instant becomes a divine encounter. Junaid al-Baghdadi described the secret as the place where God speaks to himself within the servant. Hallaj expressed it more radically. Within the secret, human and divine consciousness merge into one, indistinguishable. Though he paid for these words with his life, later Sufis recognized their depth. Ghazali, after his own inner crisis, mapped the psychology of the secret, explaining it as the stage where a servant witnesses God's attributes operating through their own being. One perceives divine wisdom in one's own insight, divine mercy in one's own compassion. In this state, even remembrance, dhikr, changes. In the heart, God is remembered by name, but in the secret, remembrance flows spontaneously, as though God remembers himself through the servant. Thus, some saints appeared to withdraw from outward worship, for their very lives had become worship. As Rumi wrote, the Masnavi is a conversation from secret to secret, words carrying the fragrance of direct divine encounter. Those who read it with open hearts feel their own hidden secret stirred awake. The path to the secret begins outwardly with the discipline of the self. The nafs is restless, insatiable, like a child that never ceases to demand. Through fasting, patience, prayer, and awareness, its noise is softened, allowing the heart to be heard. The purified heart reflects divine knowledge, but still perceives through names and attributes. The soul, breathed into us by God, awakens love as its nourishment. Yet beyond love lies the door to the secret, where all distinctions dissolve and only essence remains. Attaining this is not about abandoning the world, but about transforming one's consciousness within it. Ghazali emerged from seclusion to teach again, but now every word was nourished by the secret. Rumi wrote poetry in the midst of life, yet his verses were revelations from that hidden station. Haji Bektash Veli embodied service, tolerance, and justice, signs of a heart infused with the secret. The Sufis also warn that not every ecstatic state is the secret. Temporary spiritual moods, ijtihal, may give glimpses, but the secret is a permanent station, Maqam. Its authenticity is proven by its stability, by the humility it brings, and by the way it transforms one's entire life. True unveiling leads to gentleness, compassion, and the refinement of character, what the Sufis call the greatest miracle, good morals. For the secret is not just personal illumination, it is a divine trust. The Quran speaks of a trust offered to the heavens and the earth, but accepted only by humanity. Sufis see this as the capacity to carry the secret, a jewel entrusted to the human heart. Whoever receives it becomes a mirror through which divine consciousness gazes upon itself. Ibn Arabi wrote, "The secret is where God recognizes himself in the servant." This trust carries responsibility. Those who bear it do not hoard it, but serve humanity. They speak through parables, poetry, and symbols, protecting the truth from unprepared hearts while offering hints to those ready to receive. Sitting in the presence of such people, even in silence, awakens something within, because secret calls to secret. Ultimately, the station of the secret is not knowledge, but being. It is the deepest layer of consciousness where time dissolves, dualities vanish, and existence is seen as a divine mirror. Worship ceases to be an act performed at intervals. Life itself becomes worship. The self no longer disappears, but is understood as transparent, a vessel for divine reality. Hallaj expressed it simply, "I am the secret of truth, and truth is my secret." These words remind us that within every heart lies that same hidden trust, a divine spark waiting to be uncovered. To reach it, we must cleanse our desires, polish our hearts, strengthen our spirits, and wait with patience. For one day when the time is right, the light will fall, and the secret will reveal itself as what we have always been, a reflection of God's eternal light.